Hey all, Paintmarine here with another tip on the Workbench. Now, it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I actually thought I had already done this video before, but looking through, apparently I haven't. And there's a few others, similar videos that you could probably find, but I just wanted to share just like my quick how do I do it. So this video is about how to do metal bluing. Now, metal bluing is what they call the effect that happens on metal as it gets hot and heats up. So I'm going to show just really super quick and easy way. There's tons of different ways to do it. This is the way I like to do it because, like I said, it's really quick and easy. It doesn't require anything like an airbrush or anything like that. Now you can get a really good, probably a better effect, I would say, if you did use an airbrush or some more of those advanced techniques. But this does such a good enough job that I don't know, again, personally, I like the way it looks. And again, it's just so easy. I figured why not. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Hopefully it works out for you and you enjoy this technique. It may help you out. And again, if you're not familiar with the channel, currently right now I am, for my daytime job on the road, it's kind of like periods of travel and stuff. So I've been making these videos recently on the go, basically. So again, I'm currently in a non-ideal situation to make a video, but I'm doing the best I can. And currently right now it's morning time, so this is probably the best time to try and create a video as far as lighting and everything, because I wanted for this to make sure that we had enough light and all that kind of stuff, because I don't have like my normal light set up and everything. So it looks very bright behind me. If I get out of the area here, you can kind of focus and you can kind of see it's pretty bright out and all that. But yeah, so we will be using this here. Now the whole rest of the miniature is not painted. I'm just going to be doing the barrel end of the, eradicator, heavy eradicator, just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about here. And yeah, so we will dive into this, and like I said, in a few really moments, this will be all really cool, good to go, except the rest of the miniature. I still got much to do there, but we're just going to do the barrel of the melta here, the melta rifle. Okay, so to start this out, we're going to need, well, first you'll need your miniature and you'll need the part that you're going to do. So for this, I already painted the barrel here. It's lead belcher, so just simple metal color lead belcher. Then next you'll need the Nuln oil will be the first shade. Now this is just to get the general shadows and stuff on the metal. It's not one that really is going to come into effect later. Now with the bluing, as you'll see, it kind of goes in these different shades. So you'll have like kind of this brown, kind of bronze-ish kind of color. And then there's like a purple color that transitions into a blue. Now, on a lot of different effects, you'll see where the blue is very much more pronounced, and you can definitely see it. And this one is definitely a more subtle transition as you go through this, and then by the time all these kind of layer up at the end, you won't need to use black at the end. It'll be all kind of mixed and very dark, but it'll still kind of have a blue tint to it, which is kind of the point. But the blue here, like I said, definitely layers up and makes the end very dark and gives a very kind of almost, like I said, burnt almost kind of look, which in some cases can be a lot more significant than when using an airbrush. Sometimes you'll see the metal bluing where it's gotten so hot, I guess, where it's just kind of like a very bright blue. Now something else you can do if you want is once you have completed kind of the shade, I've seen, I personally haven't done this. I mean, it looks all right, but I just haven't done it for myself. But some will then dry brush maybe a little bit lighter blue color on the end, and then on the very end here, if they want to show like maybe just shot, they'll do like a dry brush on here of like kind of like an orange and a hint of yellow and stuff to make it look like maybe it just got done firing and it's still like super molten hot kind of a thing. So alright, put these here aside, and grab our Nolan oil here, and we're just going to do our quick shade. So nothing special here. I guess it's just doing quick shade, getting down in all of the cracks. Now, I suppose you could skip the Nolan oil step here if you wanted to, and then you just start right off with the Seraphim Sepia. But I don't, just because it's going to not go the whole way of the barrel here. But you could also just shade, if you wanted to. You could just shade like this kind of back portion here with the Nolan oil, and then take the Seraphim and start it up here with the sepia. Again, like I said, I just like to shade the whole thing and then go from there. So this is kind of the point where you'll see a lot of people like that's pretty much it. They just do a Nolan oil, and they're kind of completed with that, which is okay. Like it's kind of whatever. But like I said, with this technique, it's just so simple and pretty straightforward. It's almost, I think I saw somewhere in a forum or a thread somewhere that someone was saying it's almost becoming like with drilling your barrels. People always point out when somebody doesn't drill their barrels. Well, now it's almost like, come on, put some metal bluing on your ends, your weapons and stuff, which is, I don't know, that's kind of a bit more ridiculous, I think. But anyway, so, and I know I myself, with like weapons like this and flamers, I definitely do. But something like, like a bolt, like here's a heavy intercessor I'm working on. I'm not gonna do the bluing on here. I could to some degree, but it's just, I don't know, it doesn't significantly add much. But I do think with something like the Meltas and the flamers and stuff, it does add a whole lot more. Especially because, again, they have a much longer extended barrel. I think it kind of makes sense with that. So just kind of letting the Nolan oil dry here a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next, which will be the Seraphim Sepia. Alright, so for the next one, for the Seraphim Sepia, I don't go the whole length of the barrel here. But I do go a significant amount, so I definitely make sure I get all up here in the front. And I put like a pretty significant amount on there, so I'm going to keep going with it, but you want to put enough where you can definitely tell it's there. And this may even require applying an additional coat later. So I actually load up the brush pretty well to where like I almost don't even need to touch the barrel so much, because there's just a big droplet of it, and that way I can move it around and just kind of make sure that I have a good coverage, good coat. And of course you want to make sure it's pretty even as you go around, so you're getting like you don't want it to be like a super clear line, but significantly enough that it's like, well, good enough that it's even anyway. And again, here we're at another step here where if you really wanted to, you could just, be done with the effect here with the sepia. It definitely does add a significant kind of burning or burnt kind of effect to it. So let's see if we can get in here. See if I can maybe block some of this light. Again, making these videos is becoming increasingly difficult while I'm on the road, but I'm doing what I can. So, yeah, here you can see maybe, and it's kind of, you can kind of see where it's kind of like the almost like a sag there. So I'm going to kind of like shift it around, turn it. Again, and now you see kind of like that sag that was on the bottom of the barrel is gone, because the wash is still kind of moving around. So I'm just going to kind of do that. It doesn't take too long to dry, but I want to do that just because I don't want to get, like, you know, kind of an abnormality to the barrel. And like I said, like right here, like this, once this dries, it'll look, you know, pretty good already on its own with just that step. But we are going to go a little bit further. We're going to have 2 more steps here. So the longest thing about this technique really is just the drying part. That's the longest, hardest part, is just waiting for it to dry before you move on to the next step. Alright, when this is done drying, we'll move on to our next step, which is the Dirty Violet. Okay, so now we're going to start with the Dirty Violet. Now, again, with this, I would say I probably went about 3/4 of the way up onto the barrel with the sepia, and now with the Dirty, we're going to go about half. And so essentially you're just kind of cutting the barrel into fourths. And with this, and with this, I actually will probably extend a little bit further than half, just to, again, like I kind of said, extend the color here. The nice thing about this is, yeah, so I went a little bit past half, and that's just more to kind of give more of that kind of effect. It's a little bit more natural than it just being like exact, you know, intersection of 3/4, half, and a quarter. Because you want it to look more as kind of naturally kind of transitioning and shifting. Now, aside from like the technique that I was talking about where I put like a significant amount on the end of the brush and then kind of dab it around, you could do light layers. So it could take a couple. I know in the past I've done it and I've had to do like 2 layers to get like a good coat, because otherwise like the color just wasn't showing up good enough. Or you could maybe have to do more than that, maybe 3. But for sake of time for me, I guess I kind of lose that time on the drying end of it, because putting a decent amount more definitely takes more time to dry. So there is that done. So now we have the purple on there. So there we go, that's a little bit better. So in here it just kind of looks dark. I'm going to try here on my next little shift here. I'm going to try to adjust the lighting somewhat. Like, again, I don't have my lights and stuff I normally would have, and doing the best I can. If I was to use the lamps they use in here, it's a very yellow light. It doesn't do too well. So I was trying to use natural light this morning, and it's kind of working, but yeah, using what I can. But yeah, so it's kind of hard to tell now with the Dirty Violet on there. You don't really even see the sepia, but if I can adjust that lighting some, I'll try to get it on there. But it's definitely on there. And I'll try to kind of, so the cerium sepia goes to probably about like right here, so not quite the end of the barrel, and then here we have the Dirty Violet starting, and it blends in through there. So try to use kind of the lighting in the room. It's a little bit harder because, again, with the yellow of the lights, it definitely kind of washes out the sepium. You can't really see it very well, the sepia, but I mean, you can kind of maybe tell a little bit right here, and then the Dirty kind of going from here on up, and even the purple, the Dirty, is like kind of getting washed out here as well. Maybe this angle maybe be a little bit better. You can kind of see it a little better on the top as it's still kind of wet and still trying to dry. That actually does work out a little bit better where you can kind of see it. So that is the state of this currently. So next up we're going to go into our Drakenhof Nightshade, which will be the next and last one that we will use to get our bluing effect. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the last part, the Nightshade, the blue. So again, we're going to go starting here at the end of the barrel. And again, going not quite half. When I say not quite, I guess a little bit past. We're not going to stop short. We're going to go up to and maybe a little bit past halfway. As I'm moving this around, I realize I keep blocking the camera. I get a good kind of even, not quite an even line necessarily, but like I don't want it to be like way in this way, but then not the other way. And the nice thing about these different shades is the way they interact with the bottom layers as well. So they kind of layer on top of each other and they kind of blend the colors and kind of do most of the work there for you. So let's see if we can, again, you can see the kind of the wet area. In this one now, it looks like you can see the sepia a lot better, but there's definitely the dirt in there as well. Come back a little bit. Yeah, so then from this step, we just let it dry. And that's it. So I'll come back here when it's all finished and show you kind of the final product. Alright, and there it is. So hopefully you can see that pretty well. And in the thumbnail picture, and I'll probably put it here at the end, you can definitely see in that picture better. Again, unfortunately I'm just battling this on the road and the insufficient light to get what I want to show. But yeah, I think for the most part you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But like I said, it's super simple. This angle seems to be kind of the best where you can kind of see again some of the layering. But yeah, that's how you kind of get like that burnt kind of bluing effect metal. Now like I said, now this is definitely more on the burnt side, not so much the more of the blue tint. Now if you look, and again in person, you can definitely see the purples and the blue here kind of mixes, like really dark blue, kind of blue purple, then the sepia, and then you have just your kind of metal color that was shaded with the Nolan oil. And again, like I said, you could take some blue paint, or just very lightly dry brush on the ends here. And then, like I said, so I've seen some do a kind of a glowing effect on the end too, to show like it was just shot or it's maybe in the process of shooting. All definite options to go with. But I do find this is the quickest, fastest way to get at least a very cool kind of, like I said, bluing or burnt effect on your metal. That really adds a lot to the miniature, I think. Yeah, I guess we'll just pause it there. And alright, well, there you have it. Here's the miniature again. It's a lot harder to see now, all things considered. But hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you can use that technique and it works great for you as well. Again, I apologize just in general for the video quality. It's been really hard, like I said, to do these on the road, but it is what I am, or what it is for at least now for the I guess somewhat foreseeable future. Just got a lot of hurdles I got to try to overcome while being on the road right now. So with that, please do check out the rest of the channel. Again, I definitely appreciate the like, subscribe, and any comments. on ways to improve, or just ideas what your thoughts are. If you have another way of doing something, I'm definitely open to hearing all those. As far as ways to improve, like I said, I always take those and do my best what I can. But like I said, right now is incredibly hard, just because of the current situation with my daytime job and the fact that I'm on the road for a little while right now. So it's a lot harder and more challenging to improve certain things. While I'm here at this location, I'm definitely going to try to discover other ways to improve lighting and stuff like that, so videos can be seen. Plus, the camera I have isn't like the highest quality, and trying to get the right angles with it too can be kind of hard. But like I said, there's all kind of growing pains as I go trying to do this mobile setup. But I still want to try to make content and share some of my tips and tricks with people as I can. And this is definitely one that is so super simple, and it really adds a lot to the miniature in general. So without further ado, again, thank you for watching. Please check out the rest of the channel, subscribe, check out my Facebook page, all in the description below. And until next time.